Hello, welcome to the channel of Contemporary Literary Review India. In this interview, I am with the author Rituparna Khan. Rituparna is an assistant professor in Bidhannagar College, Salt Lake, Kolkata. She is a geographer by profession and at the same time writes poems, stories, and novels. She has received several accolades and awards from different institutions and organizations, including Intercultural Poetry and Performance Library, for writing in a rhyme competition on World Poetry Day, and Reuel International Award for Best Upcoming Writers in Poetry 2019. Her debut, Tales Told and Untold, is a collection of short stories and has been published in 2020. Her second book is a collection of poems titled Melting Thoughts. And her third book, which is coming up in 2022, is a novella. Before I move ahead, please subscribe to our channel. Hello, welcome to our channel, Contemporary Literary Review India.
Thank you, and a very good morning to you and all of you watching here.
Okay, good morning. Thank you. So the first question is, since when are you writing?
I'm writing, writing is my passion. It's the way I vent out my thoughts, and I have been doing it since my girlhood days, my school days. I used to diarize, I used to scribble on the notebooks, sometimes secret, sometimes open to my friends and all. But for the last 4 to 5 years, I'm into serious writing, regular writing, and I'm continuing it till date, and I want to continue it in future till my last breath, actually.
Oh, okay, that's great. Okay, I can see that you have written poems, stories, and now a novella is coming up. So you have a very good success in the field of writing. So your comments about this?
Sir, I am just minuscule in this galaxy of stalwart authors and writers, and I do not measure or judge my success in terms of how much laurels are added to my works, or how many more bulks are added to my work, or how many more publications. To me, success is like my publishers are approaching me to write something new, or my readers are loving the book, and I am enjoying my writing. I'm trying out different genre of writing. I love experimentation with so many things, and that gives me satisfaction and pleasure and ultimate bliss. And it's kind of a panacea to all evils.
Okay,
So
okay.
that way, I'm happy. I'm happy with my works, and I'm into competition with no one.
Okay,
That's
okay,
it.
great. Yeah, right, you are
Yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah.
Okay, so what are the chief themes or subjects in your poems particularly?
As far as poems go, I being a geographer, I'm very close to nature, and main theme is nature. Obviously, every time, some way, nature comes into my poems, and after nature, immediately following nature is love, which is again all pervasive. Then I love to do. I told you right now that I love doing experimentation and all. So I love to do write and do works with some sorts of supernatural, sometimes spiritualism, sometimes religion, sometimes with reincarnation, ghosts, and it's kind of a mixed bag,
Okay,
multifarious themes and viewpoints.
okay.
Whatever intrigues me, I am into that.
Hmm.
So that way, I enjoy writing. I vent out my thoughts.
Okay, okay. In poetry, so do you write rhyming poems more or blank verse?
I am into both. I love to write rhyming poems, also blank verses also. But these days, I'm more into writing blank verses.
Are your poems long or short? I mean, poems
They are
particularly like.
mostly short to medium poems.
Hmm.
Short poems, medium poems like 8 liners, 12 liners, 24, 16, 20, like that. And I
Hmm.
don't think myself to be that adept in writing long poems that require a
Okay.
lot of more capabilities.
Right,
I'm
right,
not
right.
that expert.
Okay, okay, okay. So, which types of stories you write?
Mm, As far as stories go, again, I love to experiment. I love to write a lot about humans, humanitarian grounds, humanistic viewpoints. There also sometimes nature comes in. Love is always there, and all sorts of mixed human emotions from love to hatred to motherhood to so many things come in. And then this reincarnation thing and the supernatural hallucination, vision, fantasy, these things intrigue me a lot. I love to write stories about those things. I love to merge reality and fantasy together and take out a product of my own, kind of an admixture, maybe something with a real character who existed or who exists till now, and I'm mingling up some fantasy with that person. I
Okay,
love
okay.
doing that. I enjoyed doing that.
So, how many stories have you got published until now?
My first collection, Tales Untold and Untold, that's a collection of published storybooks.
I mean, how many
It
stories?
contains 26 tales.
Okay, okay. So,
That is the first published book.
okay, of all those stories, which story you think is very exciting or interesting?
Um,
Miss, you might have
in this
received
book,
some response from readers like, okay, this story is
yeah,
better or
yeah, yeah,
exciting or
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. In this book, Tales Told and Untold, the published these 26 published stories, one story is their letters. Letters deal with a lot of emotions of love and like infatuation, childhood
Mm.
infatuation, and then some complexities of society and all. That got a good response.
Okay.
Another story I wrote was about a small anecdote of Mirabai. In this collection, it's there. So they are medium-sized stories, and some are very short micro tales here.
Mm.
Those are very close to me. Those are sometimes very funny ones, sometimes depicting my usual self of forgetfulness and all, or absent-mindedness and all. Those have been portrayed. They're very small stuffs.
Mhm.
I enjoyed writing them, and even when I read them back, I enjoy them. But this
Okay.
Mirabai story and these letters, they got very good response.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, who the characters in your stories resemble? Means like you create characters from fantasy world or the real world. What?
Obviously, real people, I try to stick to those ground humanitarian values. uh, Sometimes along with those values, their viewpoints, their ethics and whatever they're looking to life, day-to-day life, I keep them in the real ground only. Sometimes I try to add a little bit of humor and a lot of time fantasy. And I am still probably in my childhood days of fairy tales and all.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
enjoy that.
Okay. Great. So, what are the symbols generally you use in your writing? Means either it's a poem or story or whatever.
Yeah, they are actually those kind of codes which we are through which we are portraying our works, and
Mhm.
that are about to be, or that are supposed to be deciphered by writers as well as readers. So in that sense, there are basic 8 symbols in English language. Especially in case of poetry, I love using a lot of metaphors,
Mm.
simile. I use a bit of allegory, and especially in my stories, there are lots of ironies and paradoxes.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
love.
Can you share some information about your upcoming novella, which is coming
Uh,
in some time?
well, it is actually the writing part is complete, but then I want to go into some more detailing. Uh, I want to take some more time for that, and it talks about, again, it talks about a lot of things. It talks about many issues for a period of about 26 to 28 years. So it's covering a long phase of time. I had to maintain that unity of time and place every time.
Hmm.
It will come out sometimes end of next year or beginning of 2023. Before that,
Okay.
I'm not going to take that out. It's ready. It's ready to be published as such. It's with the publisher, but then I'm not going to take it out right now. And
Okay.
rest
Okay.
of it will speak itself after it comes out.
Okay. 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 Okay.
And
Hmm.
I'm working into two more. I'm working into another book. That
Hmm.
is a collection of stories. Collection of stories. Again, it's of historical women, basically, and
Hmm.
it's an admixture of reality and fantasy.
Hmm.
Again, and they will have some different kind of experimentation. That book will have some different kind of experimentation. Already halfway through it, and
Hmm.
after that, I have a plan to make a different kind of poetry book. Let me see how far I
Okay.
can,
Okay. Okay.
with all of your good wishes and blessings.
Yes. Yes. My blessing is always with all the writers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
uh, okay. So as far as my perception is like writing poetry is a little easier because that's why there are so many people who write poems, and
True.
writing story is a little difficult, and novella is even difficult because you
Yes,
have to employ so many things like characters,
exactly.
themes, concept, and this, that, so many things. So
I
do you
took
agree?
1 year to complete the novella. Yeah, I agree with you, sir. I absolutely agree with you.
Mm.
To complete the novella, I took just exactly 1 year.
Mhm. Mm. Next question is, which writers have you read more? Means any. As a writer, you might be reading so many writers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
love to
which are
read.
favorite and means your most favorite writers?
Most favorite writers, like being an Indian and being a Bengali by heart and soul, I have to mention Tagore. But I love to
Okay.
read a variety of writers from classical to contemporary ones. Uh, and anyone from starting from days of Shakespeare or Homer, even, and then works of Tagore from Shelley to Byron to Keats. And I love reading a lot of Hemingway. I love reading Shaw, Tolstoy, Maupassant. These short stories attract me a lot. And O. Henry, I love O. Henry stories. I love Neruda's poems, Pablo Neruda's poems. And then the from anyone from the Sylvia Plath to Margaret Atwood and all these contemporary ones who are living, some are living till date, some may have passed away a few years back. And I love the way they play with the words. They kind of dribble with the emotions, and they can take us anywhere and everywhere in all states of our emotions in life. And I love one book I read, I must mention, is, and the movie is also wonderful. It was picturized. That is Marcus Zusak's Book Thief. That's a wonderful book based on Second World War and Nazi Hitler's concentration camp and Nazi domain and all. Another book I have read most till now in my life is Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. I have read it 13 times,
Oh,
and
great.
I'm never tired of reading Anne Frank. I love
Okay.
reading
Okay.
Anne Frank.
Okay. Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the writers I have read. I keep on reading. Shaw again intrigues me a lot. His anti-romanticism, his viewpoints of anti-war, and kind of the reading Shaw gives me goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
Tagore's environmentalism attracts me a lot. Tagore's environmentalism, basically. I mean,
Okay.
today, whatever we are talking about environment, he talked it about 125, 100 years back. So
Mm.
that matters a lot. But I
Mm.
personally feel if there wouldn't have been a Shakespeare, there wouldn't have been a Tagore.
Okay.
Though I'm
Okay.
an Indian, but I personally believe so.
Okay. Okay. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, which contemporary writers are you reading?
Contemporary, especially the living ones.
Mm-hmm.
I love reading Shashi Tharoor. I love reading Arundhati Roy. Again, her environmentalism and being a geographer. that attracts me a lot. Jhumpa Lahiri, Amitabh Ghosh, especially Amitabh Ghosh's Hungry Tides. I mean, that is the book again I read 3 to 4 times.
Oh,
I love reading Khaled Hosseini. Khaled Hosseini, especially his first book, Kite Runner. And I have seen the again a picturized version also. Though the picturized version was not that good. I love and then Thousand Splendid Suns and When the Mountains Echoed, and I follow Husseini's posts in Facebook and Instagram also. I'm a great fan of Husseini. Another person is there, Kalam. I have read Kalam's work, though he is not living right now, but he's very contemporary. And this person, Sanjeev Sanyal, he's a wonderful writer, though he's an economist. He has studied a lot, and I loved reading his book, Land of Seven Rivers. It's a lovely one. Another book I'd like to mention, sir, is A. Abuti's The Funny Side of English. That is the book. He has done a lot of experimentation with words in English language. So it's a kind of a dictionary, kind of a vocabulary book. It's a lovely book.
okay.
It comes out from National Book Trust, NBT. It's an NBT publication. It's The Funny Side of English. That is the book I read a number of times. That's lovely. We come to learn so many words, their usage, and so many things. That is
Okay.
a very helpful kind of a glossary for
Mhm.
writing in English also.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So,
right.
okay, Miss Ritupurna. So, I would like you to recite a poem or something like that if you have some book or some writing with you. Do you have anything?
Yeah, this is my second book and first book of poetry, Melting Thoughts,
Okay. Okay.
published by Authors Press. And
Mhm.
is a poem, there's an autumn poem, Symphony, which I'd like to share with all of you. It's Symphony. Jay, siskin, blackcap, nuthatch, wagtail, woodpecker, gold teeth, goldcrest, smeared the yellow of Sham's attire. Have they stolen their sizzling whistles from the symphony of his bansuri? All these Brajabalas of Vrindavan? Blue of dismal Radhika reflects radiance of gold tinted autumn. Dried fronds are dropping, moistened. A crescendo of the tune is floating with the notations, winged on fluffy clouds. Azure skies shimmering with golden stars. Those are witness to the stolen symphony. So this is symphony, and the
Great. Great.
glossary is Shyam is Lord Krishna,
Mhm.
Jay, siskin, blackcap, nuthatch, wagtail, woodcaper, cold teeth, and goldcrest are all autumn birds. And we know about Brajavalas of Vrindavan and Radhika.
Right. Right.
So, so this is symphony, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for sharing this
Okay.
beautiful poem.
Okay.
Okay. So our interview now comes to conclusion. Thanks a lot for sharing your views